here's what I want to do, Aaron. Let me talk to my friend before I sign anything.
I understand like the desire to do that. I really do. Can I share with you my personal experience having helped a lot of homeowners like yourself with friends or family that have real estate licenses if they do decide to talk to them first? It ends up creating a dynamic where you feel kind of this like emotional arbitrage, and it's really, really uncomfortable to tell them kind of what's really true for you and what you're really after because they are such a close friend. And it's not uncommon that I've seen homeowners end up hiring their friend out of a sense of obligation or kind of emotional reasons. And then unfortunately, like it either affects the relationship or they don't end up getting the outcome that they're actually after. Now, tell me this, like, how important is this move for you and your, because whatever you decide to do, I'll support you 100%. How important is this move for you and your family?
It's very important.
Okay. Is it an option for you to not sell the home and still move?
No, we have to.
Is it an option for you to rent the home and still move?
No.
What would happen on the outside chance if you were here, I don't know, 120, 180 days from now and the home wasn't sold? What would that mean for you and your family?
It wouldn't be good.
It wouldn't be good. So it sounds like with a decision that is this important, right? You have a choice to make. You can either make it from a very kind of practical perspective and make a business decision, or you can kind of do your friend a favor. I guess for you personally, with how important is this move is to you and really what's on the line, like, what do you think we should do?
Yeah. So I think that this is the one where I was like having trouble like
articulating.
Articulating. And it was more or less like you get done with that path and it's like, hey, look, let me talk to that agent or let me talk to my friend before I actually sign up with you. Mm-hmm. And at that point, the thoughts that were going through my head as you were saying that is, can I make a recommendation to you? Okay, so I'm not saying that this is the case here, but here's what I typically see when that happens. A lot of times when homeowners go back to their friend and they tell them that they've decided to go work with another agent, if you haven't signed anything, because they're going to ask you if you've signed something or not. If they find out that you haven't signed anything, they're going to almost say like, hey, look, like I've been your best friend for a really long time. Like, how could you do this? Like, I've done maybe this favor for you, or maybe I've done that favor. And what it does, because you've already decided that you want to work with a different agent, is it causes this dynamic where it causes a lot of internal conflict. Like on one end, you want to help out your friend. And then on the other end, you know that professionally you want to go in a different direction. So what I've seen oftentimes is a lot more helpful in these situations is instead of going back to your friend and saying, hey, look, I've decided, but I haven't signed something with an agent. I decided to go with a different agent, is instead if we go back to them with this and we say, hey, look, I really appreciate your friendship. Unfortunately, I've already signed a contract with a different agent. However, this is what the agent came up with. The agent came up with, if you bring a buyer for the transaction, he's actually going to pay you a bonus on the deal. If you have any questions about that, reach out to this agent. And I find that if we go back to them saying, hey, I've already signed something, they can't give you the guilt trip, because after you've already signed something, they won't be able to, as opposed to if you go back to them and say, hey, I haven't signed anything.
So it's no different than when agents say to me, I have to talk to my broker first.
Yeah. It's basically the same exact thing.
Same thing. So what I'll say there is like, yeah, I appreciate that. And then just so I'm clear, have you already made the decision that this platform, this proximity, the value stack, that it would serve you and help you to grow and accomplish your goals and objectives in the real estate space? Yes. Okay. So being that you've already made that decision, may I make a suggestion in terms of order of operations? Yes. Well, in order to alleviate pressure from you and from them, right? Because when you go and tell them this, they are going to give you, with a high degree of probability, I'm not suggesting this is definitely true, but more likely than not, they're going to give you all the reasons why that's not a good idea, right? Because people usually don't want what's best for you. They want the version of you that serves you best, serves them best, right? So they'll usually give you all the reasons why it doesn't make sense, maybe try to convince you to stay in some way by throwing stuff at you, perhaps even some money. So In order to alleviate that pressure, I find that in terms of order of operations, what serves agents best is that we'll send you the application, you fill it out. Okay. Nothing happens. Nobody gets notified. In doing so, you've initiated that process. EXP takes 24 to 48 hours to check your license. Then we have a green light where you can just, transfer your license over. And then you go to them and you have the following conversation. Hey, I just wanted to let you know this is a professional courtesy. I've already decided this. I've already initiated it. So my intention in coming to you is not to try to kind of ask you for permission or perhaps negotiate with you to try to give me a better deal. I've made this decision because I think it makes sense for me and my family and my business moving forward. I hope you can respect that. My intention is to maintain a professional relationship, and I look forward to the opportunity to working with you in the future. And that's it. And this is really no different, right? So when somebody says to you, like, talk about, okay, and just so I'm clear, as Jose was saying earlier, so just so I'm clear, because I want you to make the decision that you feel is best. And whatever you decide, I'll support you 100%. Have you made a decision based on our initial conversation, based on our time spent together, checking out track record reviews and stuff? Like, do you feel comfortable and confident with me that I can help you sell the home? Well, yeah, yes, we do. Okay. And so is it that you want to talk to your friend because you just feel kind of like emotionally obligated to do so? Or are you actually like seriously considering hiring them for the job? And they're like, I kind of feel like obligated. Like, okay. And I understand that. And I appreciate that. And then we try to close that. And they're like, I just want to talk to him first. It's like, yeah, listen, I understand. Now, being that you've already made the decision that you would like to hire me for the job, can I share with you kind of procedurally a process that would actually alleviate a lot of stress from you and from them? And they're like, yeah, what do you mean? Obviously, because human nature is human nature, right? And obviously, when you go to them and you say to them, I'm selling my house and I've chosen somebody else, they're going to probably give you all the reasons why you should have hired them, right? And that creates stress for you. It's uncomfortable. It's a little awkward, right? So being that you've already made the decision, and we have this happen all the time with clients because everybody has a real estate license, right? Is we go ahead and take care of the appropriate paperwork today. Then what you do is you go to your friend and you let them know, hey, I've already made this decision. I've already authorized a listing agreement, right? My hope is that this won't affect our kind of personal relationship because I care about our personal relationship more than I do the business relationship. Now, the agent was kind enough to share that if you did bring a buyer, he will pay you a bonus. And he's also even open to providing you a referral fee on the listing side. That's if we've agreed to that, right? Which will allow you to be able to, participate. And that's my way of really kind of, doing my best to maintain, our relationship. My hope, my desire would be is that it wouldn't affect it at all. But I made this decision because I really thought it was the best business decision to make. And then that's it. And that alleviates the pressure from you and it alleviates from them. Does that make sense to you?
It does.
And they'll be like, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so with that being said, I have the appropriate documentation with me. And we could just go ahead and take care of that, and then we'll take the next steps. And I'm like, okay. And for those who may not be aware, essentially what Follow Up Boss said is that effective November of 2025, a shared customer is defined as a person in your Follow Up Boss database who also has a Zillow account. That means that if an agent imports a contact from their personal sphere into Follow Up Boss, and later that same person opens or logs into Zillow account, for example, by following a Zillow smart link the agent shares, then under the current definitions, that contact would become a mutual customer.